So of course, first of all, you need a glass ornament. I got these at Hobby Lobby, and they are awesome because see the top, after you remove the hanging thingy, is very nicely rounded, so there is absolutely no danger of it being cut. Also, be careful because some glass ornaments are covered with some type of film that you have to remove first. First of all, I will be wiping it with alcohol to make sure that it's very clean. Then I will be putting some bacon bond there. Of course, you can put liquid clay if you want, but as I said, I prefer to use bacon bond because it bonds better and also is cheaper than the liquid clay. As long as you go just a little bit over the middle, you don't have any worries about the polymer clay sliding off. Then with some translucent gone through the thinnest setting that I can work with on my machine, I cut it in 4 triangles, and this is what I will be using to cover the top of my glass ornament in a very equal and a nicely snug sheet of translucent, because I want to give it the effect of being frosted. You don't have to worry about cutting very tidily that bottom edge because it's going to be covered, you'll see. Then place your second triangle. Make sure that the top, the very top of it extends a little bit over the top of the ornament, and just set it as close as you can to the edge of the other one. It will be very easy to slide a little bit and make them join seamlessly. And then also because of the shape, it's very easy to get it very tight on the glass ornament. Then place your third triangle, and you'll see that it will almost cover the whole top. And again, place it as close as you can to the edge of the other one, and just by sliding it very gently, you'll be able to connect them seamlessly. You will have to pull a little bit. It will overlap the first one, and then you will just cut right at the seam. So that you can do the same trick with getting them joined. And then press up a little bit until you get a perfectly smooth surface. Then all you have to do is to cut a small triangle from the remaining 4th triangle of your sheet of translucent, and place it on top of that hole, and with your X-Acto knife cut right at the seam. And again, you'll be able to gently slide the seams together, so it will look uninterrupted pretty much. Then smooth. If you need to smooth anything, go ahead and smooth it. And then you will have to trim very nicely right at the base of that little neck of the ornament, because that's where the metal part will come on. And you don't want it to not go all the way down, because that ensures the stability of the ornament in your tree. And check again the trim. Try not to have any hanging raggedy parts, but you don't have to have it perfectly straight. Now remember the snowflake cane that I made a while ago? I reduced it very tiny, actually two tiny sizes, and I'm going to slice very thin slices. Yes, I am pushing the cane so they will not fall one on top of the other and get stuck, because they are very thin. This is that Chinese blade that I told you I got from Amazon. It's in my Amazon Influencer store, and I told you I can cut slices that are less than 1/4 of a millimeter thin. It's the best blade I've ever had for cutting cane slices. Then place little slices of snowflake on top of your translucent, just randomly, you know, the bigger one and even the smaller ones. And then use your roller to have them a little bit even more flattened if you did not cut them very thin. Here the bigger roller is better than the whatever else you use as a small roller. After which we will be making some snow. And for that you take some white clay, and then you take both liquid clay and clay softener. And now, depending on how fresh and soft your clay is, you might have to keep adding, and just you know, knead it between your fingers. It will be messy and sticky, but to try it, just try to stretch it. When it will stretch like a chewing gum that has been chewed on for a long time, I know that's gross, huh? But yeah, that's pretty much how it has to stretch for you to be able to make that snow-like a ridge, edge, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how to call it. It will be almost like working with fondant if you want, but this is how it's supposed to stretch. And for this you need both clay softener and liquid clay. You might be able to use it just with to do this just with liquid clay, but it will be way stickier than it is in this. So remember, it will be very sticky. I'm going to try and place the camera. It's kind of between me and the ornament, so I'm working half blindly. But otherwise, if I keep the camera above, you won't be able to see what I'm doing. And just arrange that stretched clay at the bottom edge of your translucent, pretty much haphazardly, you know, the way that snow drifts will sit on the gutter, on the eaves of a roof of a house. And so just get it stuck in there. You can rearrange it later and place all the clay that you have made into a stretchy, gooey, sticky mess. And once you get it all stretched, number one, wipe your hands really well with alcohol because you'll have a lot of clay residue. Then grab your X-Acto knife or whatever sculpting tool you want and kind of arrange that fake snow and make it be more snug against the ornament. Don't worry, you will not leave any kind of marks. That clay is so soft that it does not hold detail. So just nicely flatten it a little bit so it will be less unruly. And then we use glitter. Yay, yeah. First put something underneath because you don't want to be finding glitter even 2 months after the new year. Then with the soft brush, just place some iridescent glitter on the fake snow. And the soft brush will hold the glitter enough for you to place it right there, and because the clay is so sticky, it will hold. You will have some glitter on the glass under the snow, but you can wipe that off once you're done, so it will not be leaving glitter wherever it goes. The glitter that's stuck on the clay will not come off, especially if you use the polyester. I don't advise you to use metallic glitter, but there is no iridescent metallic glitter, so if you use iridescent glitter, it will be polyester, that's for sure, and it will adhere to the polymer clay. So once you're done with that, then it's time to bake. You don't even have to bake too long. 20 minutes should be enough because you will be baking later again. Now, this is how it looks like when it's baked. It's very pretty and very glittery and very Christmassy already. Let's work on our poinsettias. Yeah, it's pretty. I have some alizarin crimson and some pomegranate red, and with translucent, and then a mix of green and jungle, and then some jungle, both with translucent. So I will be making 2 jelly rolls, obviously with the darker color on the outside. And what I'm doing, remember that the petals of the poinsettia are actually leaves, so they will all have the same shape. So I am reducing the jelly roll to a snake, and you can do here anywhere from 4 to 6. I am going to do 6 segments, and just flatten them a little bit and pinch them on the end that's not flattened against the table, and then flatten them also on the sides. And then just put them together side by side. It will be exactly like making a leaf out of jelly rolls. You can find that on my website in the basic canes. And then turn them slightly to one side and press them well together, and then feather the top. Feathering is when you pull a clay one on top of the other. The term was coined by Victoria Hughes in 2002, I think, whenever her book Polymer, the chameleon clay, was published. Then cut your whole stack and then put it together to form a petal, a leaf, a red leaf, a poinsettia red leaf. And then just pinch the ends and start reducing it. You reduce it by pinching and pressing and pulling. Always cut pretty much on the side so you will not flatten it. Then cut about 1/3 and put aside, and then the other 2/3 reduce them some more. Once they are smaller, cut again 1/3 and put it aside, and then reduce some more until you get at least 3 sizes. I am going here for like 5 of them, but you don't have to go for so many. On the very right before the very last, cut it in half because you will not need so much. And it's enough to have, I told you, at least 3, but you don't need more than 5. Now remember that the poinsettia is not a symmetrical flower, and it's got the petals very weirdly arranged with no practical order. Then we will do the green leaf the same, only that on the green leaf we only need one size, the biggest size that should be slightly bigger than the biggest red one. So we do the exact same thing, slightly flatten against the table and pinch in the other end, and then flatten the sides, and then put them all together side by side. Smoosh them from the sides, then feather the top so they will kind of all lean on one side. And then cut the whole block. Of course, cut first the slightly deformed ends, then cut the whole block in 2 and create your leaf. The only thing you'll have to do on this one is practically to pinch the ends so they would be more pointy. And now there's only one thing that we still need to do, and that is the middle of the flower. And here I will just take some remnants, and I have a little bit of wasabi and a little bit of zinc yellow that I will mix with some green remnants, then green remnants by themselves, and whatever I have cut off the poinsettia red leaf end. Then I am making a log of the lightest green that I will wrap in the next green. and then I will wrap it in the red. And after that last, I will wrap it in the darkest green. After which, of course, I will be reducing it. And when you reduce it, just reduce it until you get a fairly thin snake that you can cut in several 1-inch segments, and just put those segments together. You don't have to be very, oh yeah, I'm going to put them in a hexagonal, circular, no. Just put them together without smooshing them. It's not a Petowski stone. And then get them flat on the table, trim the ends and trim in half, and then put them together again, and this is it. You have the middle of the flower. Now reduce it to about 2 to 3 millimeters. Yeah, that's a lot of middle of the flower. You can make like a bazillion poinsettias with it. Now I'm going to take a few bits and pieces of what I have left. Number one, I need my globe to be stable, so I'm going to make it 4 little legs of 4 clumps of scrap clay. Then I will take 3 dots of the green clay remnants that I have, and I will make 3 points on the translucent clay and place my flattened dots there. That's where the flowers will be. Kind of measure with your green leaf to see that they don't crowd each other. Of course, you can make the whole petals and leaves smaller and place more flowers if you want more. I'm just placing 3. Then cut fairly thin slices of the leaves and of the petals. I'm going for a slightly less than 1 millimeter, and place some bacon bond on the both ends of the leaf, because you need it to adhere at the tip, but the bottom will be on that dot. You can slightly scour the leaf if you want to give it a more natural appearance, but it's not necessary, because you know it's not going to be in anybody's face. They won't look at it very closely. Let me try and arrange again my camera so that you can see what I'm doing. And place your second leaf, and make sure that you press on the very middle vein so they are snug and secure against the translucent. And in the middle there, press a little bit. Then start placing your red petals in the exact same way. Make sure that you position those veins properly, because you don't want them going towards the center. You want them to go away from the center. And all you are interested in is for your leaf or petal to be well stuck right in the middle on that green dot and at the very tip. Don't worry too much about that middle, because you'll have the that middle of the flower that you have just made. And you can leave the topmost ones, the smallest ones, hanging a little bit away from the others. That will give more realism. I think I should put a bigger one on that side there. It's going to be a little difficult to place it after the other ones, but not impossible. And remember, do not position your petals symmetrically, because the poinsettias are not symmetrical. And now let's place the thing in the middle, poke it a few times, and then for more realism, add tiny dots of yellow. If you can position them in those little holes, it's okay. If not, it's still okay, because that is a very tiny area of the flower. Then do the same for the other two flowers and bake. I baked this for 40 minutes, and there you go. Most beautiful Christmas poinsettia ornament. Happy holidays and happy claying.